Richard found a box of old letters in the attic. They spoke of a woman who vanished in the house a century ago, her spirit never at rest. That night, the temperature dropped suddenly. Frost crept across the attic window, and Richard's breath hung in the air. He heard footsteps above him. Though the attic was empty, shadows flickered in the corners, and the mirror surface rippled as if something moved inside it. One night, he saw her clearly, a woman in a tattered dress, her eyes black voids, standing at the foot of his bed. She whispered, "You can't leave. You belong to the house now." Richard realized the house had claimed others before him. The letters told of disappearances, madness, and a curse that lingered in the walls. He was just the latest to hear the voice in the attic.
Sometimes loneliness isn't the worst thing. Sometimes the worst is realizing you were never alone. Richard was a reserved man who moved into an old house in the Portuguese countryside after a difficult breakup. At first, the silence was relief. But on the third night, every time he passed the attic door, he felt a chill.
One night, he heard something. A whispered voice saying his name. Richard! Frightened, he followed the sound through floorboards that creaked more than usual. The voice came from behind the attic door. He tried to open it, but it was locked. The strangest part? The key was no longer there. The next night, the voice returned. "Richard, open the door! It's cold in here!" On the fourth day, he found the key back in the lock, as if something wanted him to open it. The door creaked like a scream. Inside, everything was covered in dust. But at the back, an old mirror. The room turned icy cold. A voice beside him whispered, "Don't look." But he looked. In the reflection, he saw a woman with black eyes. Since that day, Richard was never the same. Neighbors say he talks to someone no one sees, spending hours in the attic, and every night, the voice calls again. "Richard, close the door. It's cold here, inside you." Richard couldn't escape the voice. Each night, it grew stronger, whispering secrets only he could hear. Desperate for answers, he searched the attic, where he stumbled upon a weathered box buried beneath the floorboards. Inside, stacks of brittle letters, bound with a faded ribbon. The handwriting was familiar, his great-grandmother's, trembling with fear. As he read, the room grew colder. The letters spoke of loss, betrayal, and a curse that haunted every generation. Suddenly, a shadow flickered across the wall, a woman's silhouette, her eyes empty and black. Richard's breath caught in his throat as icy fingers brushed his shoulder. Lightning flashed. The mirror reflected not one, but a dozen ghostly faces, trapped and pleading. Richard realized the truth. The house fed on sorrow, binding his family's souls within its walls. The past was never gone. It was alive, hungry, and he was its next victim. The haunting was no longer just a whisper. It was everywhere. In the echo of footsteps, the rattling windows, the midnight cries. Richard understood now. To survive, he would have to confront the darkness his family had hidden for generations.